WTV studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for the Monday Morning Managers Meeting. And now, here's your host, the president of A.L. Williams, Art Williams.
Half our crowd this morning is stranded somewhere in a couple of buses. I don't know where, but we got a great crowd in here. We had a fabulous seminar. We were in St. Louis, our super seminar. We had over 8,000 termites there. One of the most beautiful, maybe the most perfect facility I've spoken at. I mean, it was the electricity, the excitement, the intensity. In fact, I told everybody in St. Louis Friday night as I kicked my part off that I've never been to Missouri. I don't know what it is, but it never had a real meeting in St. Louis and Kansas City. It was an absolute ball-busting, barn-burner, A.L. Williams type revival meeting, you know. And folks, we had our first one. It was unbelievable, and another definite example to me that A.L. Williams is truly at a moment of destiny, or truly at a moment of greatness. And folks, I'm going to blow your butt out of the water today. Now, this is hard to believe. You're going to think I make up some of this crap, okay, for Monday morning, okay? But I came back in from St. Louis yesterday. I drove into the home office this morning. The animal told me there was a real possibility now that we could get our first batch of numbers now. Every insurance company, our crowd is starting to come in right now, okay? But every insurance company is required by law to file their annual report that's called a blue book with each insurance department, each state they do business with, by March 1st. So last week, we flew one of our executives to a state that got the first group in, and we got the top 20 reports. We didn't know if we'd have them for this Monday or not. I got in my car coming to work, and my car phone, I called the animal on the phone. He says, Art, we got them, and I'm telling you, you're not going to believe them. It is incredible. See, the scoreboard don't lie, right? And folks, I want to just give you an indication now of why Prudential and these other companies can't beat us. We love it too much. This is more than a business to us. We got people in different areas in A.L. Williams supporting us that give us a competitive edge. Just like, as an example, the power of the TV. Nobody in this industry has a TV but A.L. Williams. Well, what kind of advantage is that? You can't even verbalize it. It's so important. Today's an example of that. At 9 o'clock, we get some information. At 12 o'clock, we're giving you this information, folks. And I promise you, the 1st of April, now 4 weeks, our competition will start getting this information. They'll start getting it. Then they'll start getting it out in their sales force. It'll be May and June before they get this information that we got at 9 o'clock this morning that we're giving to you at 12 o'clock. I mean, I called the animal. Now, he had his staff over there working, and this is going to be in your blue bags tomorrow. From 9 o'clock, we got the information at 9 o'clock this morning. This is 12 o'clock Eastern now. We've taken that at our art department over there, graphics, and we've got this page on the back of it that says Bad Day at Black Rock. I'll tell you about that in just a minute, okay? But this is going to be a page, a little thing that you can duplicate off and show them by the trillions out there to the customer, okay? And, folks, all that was done now. This has already been sent to printing, our own printing company, by the way. We have our own TV, our own print. We just go conquer the world, you know, I reckon, okay? But anyway, our own printing company's printing this crap up. Then they bring it back to our own post office. You know, we got our own post office zip code, and then they put that blue bag, and it goes out to you. And, I mean, I'm fixing to wipe you out like you can't be. I was so pumped up now, and I didn't even know I was going to have a chance to say that. I had a good show planned that I had just trash can because I had some better stuff to cover you from 9 o'clock. I love it more than I can tell you, man. I mean, whew. I mean, I went to St. Louis last weekend. I come back in here to do a Monday morning show. Thursday, I head for Dallas for an NSD meeting, UNSDs. I can promise you we're going to blow your butt out of the water like you can't believe. Bo and I've got some information to give you that's going to make you feel so good you can't stand it. But let me just start off now. Hang in here with me now. February 87, we had 53,836 sales. February, that was 86, I'm sorry. No, February 87, that's right. February 88, we had 83,790 outs. That's a 56% increase over last year. I want you to remember these numbers now because I'm going to take you for the next 20, 25 minutes through and show you what A.L. Williams is doing. Folks, we're positioned to dominate the largest industry in America for the next 20 or 25 years. A.L. Williams is positioned in the next 5 or 10 years to become one of the all-time great American business success. So, folks, we're sitting on greatness. I just can't stand it. So remember that number now. Sales 56% ahead of last year. Last year, we totally wiped out the largest industry in America, though. Just remember that. Okay, folks, the scoreboard is in now. It's over. The game, the gun sounded to end the game in December 31st, 1987. And, you know, I've always said if you got any dadgum class and you lose, you got to have the balls to look at the press and your wife and the competition and your own teammates and say, well, we just weren't good enough. We got beat. We're going to try to work hard and get after them next year, right? But that ain't what the competition does, right? Because they ain't got no class. So what they try to do is they try to say, the score don't mean nothing. Y'all, this country puts too much emphasis on winning. Winning ain't important. It's how you play the game that counts. But then they can't even say that, right? Because they've played a game by screwing folks in half 100 years, right? So they try to get away with the numbers. They send in Ken Young over here and Alan Press over here, and they pay this professor up in Indiana to write all this. They try to camouflage the scoreboard, right? But see, A.O. Williams ain't going to let them get away with that. Folks, we're going to bring them back to the score. The scoreboard don't lie. At the end of the game, when the game's over, the scoreboard says, you had this many points, and they had this many points, and this is more than this, and this team wins, right? Well, the scoreboard's out in the largest industry in America, and it proves again that A.O. Williams, Millico, is national champs for 4 years in a row. Now, folks, now look at this. This is just... we set an all-time record now, 4 consecutive years. We continue, not only with national champs, but we set new records in the industry. $81.4 billion, new record. Now, here's the list of the top 20 companies. New York Life, $40 billion. Northwestern Mutual, $30 billion. State Farm, $27 billion. And here, get ready, folks. Prudential, number 5. Last year they were number 2, $26 billion. Boy, that just, when Mike told me that in the car coming in there, I almost ran off the road. I promise it had a wreck. I was about to pee in my pants. I didn't know what I was going to do. I said, you've got to be kidding, Mike. You're just telling me that, you know. So, hey, another thing now. Listen to this now, folks. Let me get back on my machine now. So we're the number 1 producer of individual life insurance in the world, okay? That's the scoreboard. They can say anything they want to, right? But they can't change that fact, right? Now, also, our goal last year, remember I said in early 1987 that we wanted to be the largest insurance company in force. Now, Prudential's probably 100+ years old, right? New York Life, Metropolitan companies over 100 years old. We've been with Millico 8 years. A.O. Williams is 10 years in the business, but our first year we were with Financial Assurance, our second year at National Home Life, and our third year we went with Millico. We've only been with Millico 8 years, right? Now, in 8 years now, we've said we wanted Millico not only to be the world's largest producer of individual life insurance in a year, but we wanted to have the largest insurance company in the world for all time's sake, right? That happened. Millico was number 1 with $204 billion in force. Prudential, number 2. Prudential's been number 1 for as long, I think maybe 18 years, as long as I've been in the business now. They wound up number 2 with $199 billion in force. So not only with number 1 producer of individual life insurance yearly, every year, but we also now have Millico is the largest individual life insurance company in the world. Okay? So now I'm going to give you some numbers. Now get your pad out and take these down. It's going to blow I am so happy I am just about to die inside now. Okay, Millico. And you know what's exciting? Put that camera back on me. You know, we have already formed a new A.O. Williams Corporation, folks, and you know what's going to be part of A.O. Williams Corporation? Millico. That's going to be a new A.O. A.O. Williams Corporation is going on Millico, which is the largest. Ain't that right? Ain't that something? I just can't stand it. Millico, number 1 in the world, okay? We did $81 billion in 1987, but now listen to this. This is the kicker. We did $12 billion add-ons that we don't count. Best don't count right. We all know that, right? So anyway, they don't count add-ons like they count new business. Well, we'll see our competition sells policies, right? If you got 4 policies, that ain't enough. They want to say you're 5th, and a 6th, and a 7th, and an 8th, right? And so best counts in all their rankings new business sold. Well, A.O. Williams, we believe in doing what's right for the consumer. We're going to sell one policy per family. Then if a family needs more insurance on the husband or wife or whatever, you know, the next year, we go back rather than sell them another policy with another policy fee and screw them, we add it on, right, their current policy. So we had $81 billion of new policies sold last year, face amount of new policies, but we had $12 billion of add-ons to old policies, okay, where our competition would get credit for that, right? But we don't get credit for that, okay, and where they keep score, right? But even the way they keep score, we come out number one in every category, okay? So that takes us up to $93 billion. Then also we started a little old company up in Canada that had $1 billion last year in Canada, so this takes us to $94 billion. Okay, now remember that number. Now stop just a second, put the camera back on me. Now let me talk about Canada. I'm so proud of our Canadian termites. I mean, one day I want to have nothing Bobby's on with me, but a Monday show just on Canada, and I want to talk about our crusaders up there. They're growing faster. They're doing things bigger than we've ever done in the history of A.O. Williams. They are pioneers in the true sense of the word. I love you and respect you so. I can't stand it. Let me just tell you the magnitude of this thing now, folks. Last year, our first 12 months in Canada, first full 12 months in Canada, we produced $1 billion paid for it. That's mind-boggling. You don't understand, most countries, they live 100 years old, they never produce $1 billion. We did that our first year, okay? In February, we had over 500 sales from Canada the last day, in one day, okay? Last January, now remember I said the first 12 months we did $1 billion paid, nobody's ever done. Last January, we produced less than 500 sales in the whole month of January. So one day, the end of February, we produced more sales than we did all of last January in Canada, right? And we're on pace to do over $5 billion this year in Canada. I just can't stand it. Okay, now having taken the numbers we got today now, I sat in my office just real quick, and I started dissecting the numbers. Now we're going to feed this to you so you can cram up their butt like you can't believe, okay? But let me just give you some numbers now, okay? A.O. Williams is number one in two areas now. Number one, we're the world's largest producer of individual life insurance, $81 billion, fourth championship in a row. We also have the number one. Milico is the largest individual life insurance company in the world, business in force. We did that in 8 years, over $204 billion. Prudential has $199, okay? Now, another goal we had was to beat the 2 and 3 companies combined. See, at A.O. Williams, when we play somebody we don't like, we like to run up the score, right? We don't like to pull the first teamers off in the fourth quarter. We like to beat them 80-0, 100, that kind of stuff, right? And so our goal is to always beat at least the second and third companies combined to let them know who's champ, right? Let them know who's king of the hill, right? And so this year we did it again. Milico had $81 billion. The second place company, New York Life, had $40 billion. And the Quiet Company had $30 billion. So if you add 40 and 30 now, everybody but Press and Belt, if you add 40 and 30, that comes up to 70, right? And 70 don't quite equal up to 81. So we beat 2 and 3 combined, right? But it was a real bad day at Black Rock. That's a new theme in A.O. Williams, a bad day at Black Rock, okay? Listen, I love this. Look at it. Milico had $81 billion last year, okay? Prudential, the Rock, had $26 billion. Now, if you take $26 billion and multiply that by 3, you come up to 78. Is that right, Animal? Now, 78. Anybody but Ken Young, who represents Prudential, we could figure that 78 ain't quite up there. So we beat Prudential by 3 times. Put that camera back. Is that unbelievable? Folks, is that unbelievable? That's like, you know, running the mile. You know how you start off running the mile? Everybody starts off on the same. In fact, they stagger them a little bit, right? If you got little outside lanes, you know, you have to run a little first, so you stagger. Everybody staggers like this, you know, and then once you get around that first curve, then it's the whole thing, right? It's like us starting off with Prudential, right? And we enter the first curve, and then all of a sudden, A.O. Williams starts lapping them. Right? I mean, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Okay, now, I know all these Prudentials are going to come back and say, wait a minute. that you didn't give me credit for all my subs. We don't just sell under Prudential. Well, we don't take credit for all of our add-ons or Canada, all that kind of stuff either, okay? But let's give them credit for their subs, right? Prudential did 26.5, and Pruco, their other little old sub, did 4.3. Okay, give them credit for all the crap they respond. Anything's under Prudential's name, right? They still come up with 30.8, right? So that ain't no big deal. Okay, now let me just give you some numbers now. Prudential. Hey, folks, this is static. Now take this down now. This is Pru's numbers now. Okay, Pru's numbers. In 86, they were number 2. In 87, number 5. How about that? Okay? In 86, in face amount, in 86, they had 30 billion sold. In 87, they had 26.5. Now, put the camera back on me. Let me tell you now, as a leader in business, as a head football coach, folks, do you understand if you ain't growing, you are dying? Does everybody, give me one of these out there, right? Do you understand that, right? If you ain't growing, you're dying, right? Well, Prudential ain't growing, right? So they're dying, right? So they can come back in there and try to razzmatazz the clients and blow smoke up their butt and all that kind of crap, right? But the fact is they're in a world of hurt, right? Let me show you. In number of sales now. Number of sales, they had 887,879 sales in 86. In 87, that goes down to 712,522. Wow. I mean, folks, lapses, let's take people that find out about them and jump and ship. In 86, I mean, look here. Put that camera back on. Folks, do you understand American people don't like a loser, right? Well, if you ain't growing, if you're writing 700,000 apps and 1.2 million, that's something wrong in that, right? Now, if the American people find that out and we're going to show it to them, they don't want to do business with a company like that, right? Well, look at this. Last year, they had 1.563, that's 1,563,784 sales lapsed. Mind-boggling. In 87, now they're going to probably say this is a positive. They cut their lapses by almost 300,000. That's why I can just see them right now. Go ahead. We got 300,000 less lapses than we had last year. So they had, and that's a fact. They went down to 1,223,166 lapses. So they had a hell of an improvement, right? But now, see, that's misleading again because their number of new sales also went down, right? So they had 712,522 new sales versus last year, almost 900,000 new sales when their deals went. Ain't that exciting? Ain't that exciting? Now let's talk about volume. In 1986, they had 31 billion in face amount lapse off the book. See, the American people finding out about what a sham they are. In 87, they had 28 billion lapse. Isn't that unbelievable, folks? So this ain't a one-year deal, right? This is a trend. Now, put this camera back on me now. Folks, it is a bad day at Black Rock. That is a devastatingly bleak picture, right? Now, I couldn't quite figure out why Beck resigned. You know, he was the chairman of the Prudential for a long time, right? And he resigned last year. Now I'm beginning to get the picture. Hell, I'd resign too if I was on a sinking ship, right? I mean, the captain can spot that ship going down, right? That's the reason the captain and the officers, they get off, and all the people in the boiler room and all that kind of stuff, like on the Titanic, they wind up in a tomb down there, right? You still discover their skeletons down there, right? And all that kind. Well, I can understand why the chairman jumped ship. I'd jump ship too, right? But let me just give you a few more real quickie now. Let's compare Pru and Millico while we're killing them, okay? Pru, on per policy expense to put that book, per new sale now, expense to put the policy on the book, it costs $1,355.66 every new sale they put on the book last year, expenses now. We spent $116.80 and 52 cents per new policy. Advertising costs, you know that rock floating down the river? They spent $47.65. We went up from 10 cents to 15 cents, and I tell you, we got to put somebody on notice around here, Mike. How in the crap that happened? We were 10 cents. We got to lay some folks off and cut back. Hell, we went up from 10 cents to 15 cents. We think about that, and I'll report to you. I'll report to you later on that, okay? So isn't that, hey, isn't that exciting, folks? Isn't it fun to be with a company? I mean, man, we get up and get at it and have fun, right? We knock people's butt off.